Yo, what's up, guys? Got Dave here. And should you get a classic bike? Would I recommend you getting a classic bike? Because one of the comments that I hear so often, anytime someone's looking at this bike, they're like, you know, I've been thinking about getting an old bike too. Every time somebody says, oh man, that's such a rad bike, I've been thinking about getting me an old bike too. I go, I don't know, man. You know, and I never say, yeah, go for it, dude, just because it was such a hassle for me to get that bike to where it's at now. And I mean, now it's good, now it's fun, and now it's reliable and everything, but to get it registered and get a license plate for that bike, it was a pain in the butt, and it cost a lot of money, took a lot of time. And to get it running, dude, it took me like a good year of messing around with that bike to get it totally reliable to the point where I trust it to not freaking strand me somewhere. You know, like I'll actually ride that bike all the way up to the rock store, and I trust it now, and I know it's not going to just like quit, because I've replaced like pretty much every single part on that bike. As long as the experience you have isn't like the experience I had when I first got this thing. Because I bought what I thought was an awesome fixed up perfect motorcycle. And the way it looks, you would think that it is. But everything as far as how it runs was wrong with it. You know, the actual engine itself, you know, like the crank and the pistons and everything was fine, but the carburetors, the intake, the reed valves, everything had to be gone through as far as the intake goes, and then the whole ignition had to be completely replaced. And I actually got a full electronic CDI ignition for this bike, and replaced, basically took the wiring loom of like 20 wires down to like 4 or 5 wires. It like totally simplified this bike, and it actually made it so it runs really freaking good. You know, and since then I've done other things, like I got new tires for it, and I did the brakes, you know, I got new brake shoes for it, and I converted the taillight and the headlight over to LEDs, and I'm going to figure out what bulbs the signals use, and I'm going to convert that over so everything is going to be LED on the bike. And it seems like it's running really good, you know, like I took the gauges apart and I cleaned the glass like on the inside so the gauges look like they're brand new, and you know, like I've been doing little things to try to get it cleaned up. But getting it registered, because I bought it from a guy out of state, and all I got with it was a title. It didn't have a license plate on it, and it had never been registered under the name of the guy that I bought it from. So it was a real hassle for me to do that. And then getting it running was a freaking nightmare. And yeah, basically I bought this bike over a year ago, and I've actually been riding it now reliably for 2 months. So that's how long it took for me to have a classic bike. But I don't know, you know, hopefully if you get one, it's not that bad. But that's what it took. And so I think about that when somebody asks me, and usually I don't recommend that anyone buy an old bike, yeah, because the chances of you might get like an old bike that's just like a piece of crap like I got, you know, it looks nice, but it's just like somebody's nightmare, and end up costing you thousands of dollars, taking you months and months of work to get it running, and that really might not be worth it to you. You know, you might be thinking like I was thinking, where I'm just gonna like buy this old bike and ride it around, and it was not like that at all. You know, I basically bought somebody else's problem and had to correct every single issue that bike had. Now that it's running good, and now that I've made some changes to it, and you know, got it all fixed up and everything, and runs really good, and it's fun. It's a fun bike. And I really enjoy having an old bike. But when someone says, hey, do you think I should get one? I'm kind of hesitant to recommend it, just because of the start. You know, just because of what I went through to get to this point. And sure, I mean, it makes you love the bike. You know, it makes you feel a very intimate connection with the bike, because you fixed it up. You know, because you took a piece of junk and you turned it into a freaking gem, you know, and that's like a really cool thing, and it gives you a sense of accomplishment that you wouldn't get from just like buying a bike. So I don't know, let's make up your own mind. I am not going to recommend it or suggest it or anything, because for fear that you would end up getting something like this and it would just be a total hassle for you, and then you'd be like, dude, Dave, I can't believe that you would recommend that, man. It was like a total pain in the butt. I'd be like, sorry, dude. Mine was too. So I will talk to you guys later. Have a great day, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.